Hello everyone, my name is TJ, aka Mr. Wares, and welcome to the BrickCity.deck gaming channel. For today's video, I really wanted to showcase my Machinedramon deck that I played during Digifest the other day. Although I didn't hit top 16, I did make it to top 32, managing to land myself at 25th place, which, considering the deck I was playing, I was really surprised I got as far as I did, but at the same time, I'm thrilled. Anyways, without further ado, let's move on with the deck tech, shall we? We're going to start off with the Digitamas, the level 2s. We're playing 4 copies of Upamon. Upamon has the inherited effect of, when attacking, once per turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digisources, you get to draw a card. Realistically, we're just going to be Digivolving our rookies over this and keeping it out in the battle area, as we're more focused on the static effects of our rookies than actually getting that attack draw. However, it's still a viable option just in case. Realistically, we're going to be using this mainly for the color identity, as we are playing a Kaisernale variant of Machinedramon, so having that color on the board at all times is always going to be an essential need. Moving on to the level 3s, we're playing 4 copies of the Hagurumon. Hagurumon has the on-play effect of being able to trash 1 Digimon with Machine or Cyborg in its traits from your hand to draw 2 cards. In a deck like this, we really capitalize on looting effects just to be able to get our cyborgs trashed out as soon as possible and to help dig for our Kaisernales. Haguru helps us do both these things. In addition, because of its color identity of being black, it means in the following turns we get to play Ultimate Connections. Moving on to the final 6 Digimon of our rookie lineup, we're playing 4 copies of Madoki Beta and 2 copies of Sayakomon. Both Digimon are essential meta call, as one prevents our opponent from gaining memory outside of Tamers, and the other helps prevent reduction costs for Digivolving. As we know, hybrids are running rampant as it currently stands, and Lilithloop hasn't quite been removed from her throne. Both these Digimon give us access in preventing our opponent from tempoing faster than we can, allowing us to keep on tempo. Moving on to our champions, we're playing 2 copies of Mechanorimon. Mechanorimon is a 4 cost to play, 3 to Digivolve Digimon. We're mainly going to be using it for its color identity, so that way we can play Ultimate Connections when we need to, or if situation calls, we can Digivolve any of our black EX1 cyborgs onto it to help dig through our deck to help find Machinedramon or Chaosdramon. It also goes without saying that it is essential to prevent early game aggression, thus giving us more time to set up for Machinedramon. Moving on to the essential ultimates, we are playing 2 each of Metal Tyrannomon, Megadramon, Andromon, and Metal Greymon. The Metal Greymon is our essential tech card for against Hybrid Blue, as if we already have a Tamer on the board when we play it, we gain 2 memory, which effectively makes this a 5 cost to play. The reason this is essential is because it minimizes just how much memory we're giving to our opponent. Also, for the following turns, we can Digivolve it into the Chaosdramon to help control our opponent's board. Additionally, it has the inherited effect of once per turn on your turn, if you delete one of your opponent's Digimon, you gain a memory. This effectively reduces the cost of Chaosdramon from 4 to 3, which is going to be pretty good down the road. Megadramon and the Andromons both have inherent blocker, however the Andromon has the clause of requiring the Digimon above it to be a machine, which isn't an issue considering how Chaosdramon and Machinedramon are both machines. The Metal Tyrannomon has a similar clause, except that instead of giving blocker, it gives reboot. Having both blocker and reboot are going to be pretty essential for either our Chaosdramons or Machinedramons, as it ensures we can keep our aggression going while also maintaining a blocker on our opponent's turn. Moving on to the one of cyborgs of the deck, we're playing 1 copy of the BT6 Megadramon, Gigadramon, EX1 Megadramon, and Volcanomon. Both Megadramon and Gigadramon have the inherited effect of being able to provide plus 2000 either on my turn or my opponent's turn, depending on which one. EX Megadramon has the on-play effect of being able to delete up to 2 of my opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less on play. Also has the inherited effect of Sec plus 1 so long as the Digimon above it is a machine. Personally, I haven't had much use for the on-play effect yet, but I can see how it would be relevant, as if our opponent decides to go Strabi into Boko, passing us to 3, we can just hard play it, bouncing our opponent back to 4, and clearing 2 of their rookies, forcing them to have to restart. Volcanomon has the inherited effect of, while your opponent has an unspent Digimon, we get Sec +1. We always want to have as many different names for our level 5 cyborgs as possible, just to increase how many different targets our Machinedramon has. It's also worth noting that Megadramon, Gigadramon, and Volcanomon are all 6 cost to play, which would be good if we're going second and our opponent passes us to 3. We can just hard play it for future setup, whether into the Chaosdramon or just for early game aggression. Moving on to the final 2 ultimates of the deck, bringing our total to 14, we're playing 1 copy of Metal Greymon and 1 copy of Metal Mammymon. Metal Greymon has the active effect of, when attacking, you may delete 1 Digimon your opponent controls with 4000 DP or less. It also has the inherited effect of, so long as the Digimon above it is a machine or a dragonkin, it gains piercing. There have been multiple times where I've Kaiser nailed this card out from underneath a Machinedramon or just hard played it, just to respond to memory blockers like Gazimon or Madoki Betamon. It has been pretty crucial for me being able to continue my game plan and going off with my Kaiser Nail combo, but generally you're not going to be hard playing it, as it does put your opponent to quite a considerable amount of memory. Metal Mammymon has the when digivolving effect similar to Andromon and Metal Tyrannomon, that say when you digivolve into it, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 level 6 machine to your hand, trashing the rest. It also has the inherited effect of, so long as the Digimon above it is a machine, when you attack, you can delete 1 Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. Honestly, this card put in a lot more work than I initially gave it credit for, and I don't think I would increase it though past 1 copy, as a lot of the hybrids do generally jump right to 6 cost. Moving on to the megas of the deck, we're playing 4 copies of Machinedramon from EX1. It has the on-play effect of being able to place up to 5 level 5 cyborgs that are red or black from either our hand or trash into its Digivolution sources, and for each one that we do, we gain a memory. This effectively makes it a 7 cost as opposed to a 12 cost. In addition, it has, on all turns, this Digimon's DP cannot be reduced. This basically puts a halt into the removal of yellow hybrids, making it so we cannot be Shine Greymon or Wyvern's Breath. And finally, it has the on all turns, if this Digimon would be deleted, instead, we may trash 2 level 5 Digimon cards from our Digisources to prevent the deletion. The prevent keyword is key in this instance, as if Ancient Beetle swings into our Machinedramon and we prevent the deletion, Pierce will not trigger. My favorite thing about this card is just that on top of having such strong all-turn effects, having the ability to mold and shape your inherited effects to meet whatever scenario you need at that time is just phenomenal. Need blocker reboot? Metal Tyrannomon and Andro got you covered. Want to do some removal? Metal Mammymon has you covered. Maybe you just want to swing in really hard. Throw in a Megadramon and a Volcanomon underneath it. There are so many different combinations for inherits to take advantage of, and it's really just dependent on the scenario you're met with. Moving on to the other megas of the deck, we're playing 4 copies of Chaosdramon. Chaosdramon has the effect of being able to digivolve onto your Machinedramon for the cost of 1. Keep in mind, this is an alternate cost, not a reduction cost, so Syakomon effects cannot take hold. Additionally, when you digivolve into this Digimon, you may take 1 level 5 red or black cyborg either from your hand or trash and place it on top of its stack. After that, you can delete a Digimon with 6000 DP or less for each cyborg in its traits. Which means if you're digivolving this onto a fully stacked Machinedramon, you can delete up to 6 Digimon, which is a pretty strong thing all things considered, as the deck doesn't really have strong methods of mass board wipe. This helps solve that problem quite easily and effectively. In addition, because we are playing a Kaisernail version of this deck, we want to be able to Digivolve on top of Machinedramon as cost efficiently as possible, so we can Kaisernail the Machinedramon out to start the combo. One fun interaction I'd like to point out is when we Digivolve the Machinedramon into the Chaosdramon, we can opt to take a Metal Greymon from BT7 and tuck it underneath our stack. This would effectively make it so we can wipe whatever pesky Digimon we need to and gain a memory for it, thus making the Chaosdramon free. Moving on to our level 7s, we're playing 2 copies of Omnimon Zwart Defeat and 1 copy of Omnimon X Antibody. Defeat has the security effect of being able to be placed directly from security to the board when hit without causing battle. More importantly, it has the when digivolving effect. You can delete 1 tamer your opponent controls. This is going to be a pretty crucial effect, as we really don't want to see Sora and Joes on the board, as they have constant strip potential for our sources, which our deck is very focused on. Additionally, it has on deletion, delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon. Now this part doesn't come up quite as often, and we're mainly using this for the when digivolving effect and for the fact that it is a cheap level 7 to digivolve on top of our Machinedramon to help for future Kaisernail plays. We play the Omnimon X Antibody because it's able to digivolve on our defeats for the cost of 3 or onto our Chaosdramons for the cost of 6. It has the when attacking, we can delete a Digimon our opponent controls whose DP is equal to or less than Omnimon's. But the main reason we want it here is it has an on opponent's turn, we can remove 2 sources from this Digimon to negate the attack. This is going to be pretty good, so we can refresh our ultimates in our trash to be able to use them for future Machinedramon plays. And of course, the ability to negate aggression on our opponent's board by removing 2 sources to negate the attack is always going to be welcomed. And that concludes the Digimon portion of the deck. Moving on to the options, we're playing 4 copies of Ultimate Connection and 3 copies of Kaisernail. Ultimate Connection has the ability of allowing us to trash 1 level 5 Digimon with Cyborg and its traits from our hand to gain 2 memory and draw a card. Although this card is a neg 1 for the hand, which means we end up with 1 less card after the card is resolved, it does have the activate ability in security, which acts as a hammer spark and a free loot effect. Because the spell does cost 1, it is effectively a +1 memory to our gauge, which comes in handy when our opponent tries to memory choke us at 1. The Kaisernail is the heart and soul of our deck and the main piece for our little combo. It is a 4-cost blue option that allows us to play a Digimon in a source for free without playing its memory cost. Ideally, how this combo would work is we would Digivolve over our Machinedramon into either a Chaosdramon or one of the Omnimons, assuming we can still maintain our turn. Kaisernail for 4, bringing out the Machinedramon from underneath the Chaosdramon. At that point, the Machinedramon's on-play effect will activate, adding 5 Cyborgs from our trash or hand underneath it, gaining us 5 memory, which will then keep us at our turn. We can then Digivolve it again into another Chaosdramon if we have enough ultimates to do so, and then Kaisernail again. Keep in mind, we do need to have either our Digitama out or a Vmon out in the open in order to use this, as we need the color identity of blue. I hope you enjoyed that little demonstration. Again, there are different ways to do said combo, but I figured the best way to demonstrate it would be worst case being at 1 memory. With that said, moving on to the Tamers, we're playing 2 copies of Tai Kamiya and 4 copies of Analog Youth. Tai Kamiya is our choice for memory setter of the deck. You could opt for the Izzy to rearrange the top 3 of your deck and the chance to gain a memory, but I find the extra +1000 DP for the Machinedramon is just too good to pass up on. Additionally, it has the color identity of black, which means we're going to be a lot more likely to use our ultimate connections whenever we need to, as opposed to whenever we have a Hoguru or Mechanori on the board. Analog Youth is going to be the main tamer that we see on the board most often, as we are playing 4 of them. It has the on play of being able to reveal the top 3 cards of our deck and adding 1 Digimon card from among them to our hand, trashing the rest. This is going to be the main wave for us to mill through our deck and get the cyborgs in the trash as quickly and effectively as possible, while not giving our opponent a significant amount of memory in the event that we go first. Additionally, it has on all turns, when one of our level 5 Digimon with a Digisource would be deleted, we may suspend this tamer to gain a memory and hatch a Digi-Egg. This card becomes quite relevant, especially when our Chaosdramons get deleted through blocking or through our opponent's removal. And that concludes our channel's second ever deck tech featuring my Machinedramon. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Every little bit helps. If you have any edits that you think might be good for the deck, I'd love to hear it. Shoot them down below in the comments. As always, if you'd like to see a deck tech in the future, just let me know. And with that, I'll be signing off. Ta-ta!